the fouls that jump out at us. And if we can tonight, we'll try to add some mechanics in there and some game flow type situations. Let me just caution you, because this happened the last time, and it can be a little distracting. I have verbiage on the screen, and that's the concentration of that particular play. If you see something else and we have time to discuss that, we'll take a look at it. Okay. But like last time we were saying the tackle's back in the backfield, or if the formation was illegal, I can't remember what it was. So go, well, look at the other tackle. Okay. Well, we've done an exhaustive amount of research on these plays, and we want to just zero in on the one topic. So there you go. So let's just try to keep that, but Steve's going to man the chat room. So if somebody comes up with something that we really need to address, we will address. Okay. Can you make that bigger, Steve?
Yeah, this is the illegal formation. That's where we want to start, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. And when you roll it, it'll, if you roll it back a little bit, Steve, there's some verbiage there. Just, click it back. You can actually do that in the bottom right hand. There you go. So when it comes to the verbiage, okay, so the wide out at the bottom is legal at the outset of this play, okay? But then he's going to adjust, not a false start, just a minor adjustment, and he's going to create 5 in the backfield. So let's just roll it and see how he goes from legal, right there, he's fine, and then he's going to, there you go, problem. And the other guy goes with him, hold it right there. Okay, so what do we have at the bottom? We've got 2 in the backfield, and we got 2 in the backfield, quarterback and his setback to his right. And of course, at the top of the screen, we now have. So, I think we're still using hand signals. So we would probably put the wide out at the bottom back. The head linesman is at the bottom of the screen there. He would put him back. And the line judge at the top would put his player there at the 40-yard line back. And as soon as you look across and see that both of you have those hands back, you can have a legal formation, legal L, but I would start counting and just, get on O to O and say something. Hey, are we okay here with this formation? And they've kind of shifted themselves into a problem here that we can't get them out of. So if we just roll it here, and Steve, maybe you could help me out with, let me see what happens here. Hold on. I think this is a sack. Yeah. Okay. So one or both line of scrimmage officials are going to throw the flag on this, and we need to start processing, what's the result of the play. So it's going to roll into 4th down, and we've got this 5-yard penalty hanging, but we're going to go with, obviously we're going to go, stop it right there, Steve. Obviously we're going to go with the result of the play, which would be a sack, and, it's going to roll it into 4th down, and they would take it. This is unnecessary, what we see here. Okay. There's no need for the referee to be looking at the offended team's sideline and asking them what they want to do. It's a sack on the play versus a 5-yard replay the down from the previous spot. We need to get, just a little concentration on game flow. We don't have grading for that, but it just creates a little bit of an irritant, especially for our observers. If I'm looking at the game here, I'm like, okay, guys, this is a 5-yard penalty. Let's just throw this thing out and move on. So it's something we can do, but it's a good concentration that we probably want to talk to our referees about come September or even August when we're doing scrimmages. So, what can we do to just expedite, some of the choppiness here? And in this case, we're a little choppy with that referee looking to the sideline for an answer. There's no answer here. They're just, decline, take the result of the play, get the punting team out, and let's go to work. All right, let's go to the next one.
And if you're on the defensive side, you just find the coach, we're going to decline this, go to 4th down.
That's exactly how you lead them down the path. That's good verbiage there. Yep. Those are things we got to work on in game management, what we're going to say. And when you're on these calls with us, those are things, if you're taking notes, you should say to yourself, what am I going to say to the coach on this? I don't think anybody here would have a problem with the illegal formation itself. I'm just talking about moving forward and just being a little more game management and just game awareness. Okay, so the line judge is going to rule this wide receiver at the bottom, okay, off the line of scrimmage. And I just feel it's a little too technical, okay? There's a difference between tackles being set back and wideouts being marginal or even a little bit setback. I mean, the previous play we couldn't get out of. But when a tackle is set back, there's definitely an advantage. Okay, I know that falls under the illegal formation category, but the wideouts are a little bit different. They're out there wearing an eligible number. The defender's going to recognize him as such, and just be a little more cognizant that we don't want to be too technical on these wideouts. Everybody okay with that? Well, let's run it, Steve. Yeah, we're going to get that kid at the bottom. Obviously, 89's in the backfield because he goes in motion. Okay, now just run it back a little bit here. I've gotten some questions on this. I've shown this at a few clinics around the country. What do we want to do or say to the player who makes that contact? And we have this saying when it comes to unnecessary roughness or fouls that we want to, the guy making the contact has to make a choice here. Now, this is not a foul. I mean, this is more of a collision than anything else. But he has a choice. And, this could escalate. And the games we work, they're going to be rivalry games. So this is not a foul, this contact. You can run it, Steve, while I talk. This is not a foul, but it's certainly a talk to by the defender in white there. Like, he doesn't have to do that, okay? He's right on the sideline, and I think if you could see the coach there, right there, hold it right there, Steve. That coach is looking for something. He thinks his receiver got hit. He didn't. I don't know if there's anybody on this call that thinks that's a foul. It's not. We're at the third quarter, 6:01. We really, by pulling out one play like this, we don't really address or can tell, what's the tenor of the game? Is this a tough game or not? But anyway, if this happens early in the game, you want to talk to that kid. Hey, you got a choice there. Lay off him a little bit, let up a little bit, number 44, whatever. And when the coach sees you doing that on his sideline to his receiver, I think we gain some points there. Okay, Steve, you good?
Good.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Maybe I could just add, this receiver in our games, he's close enough where we could talk to him. Yep. I would be telling him here, I have him on, or because he's looking at me, right? So just communicate with him and
leave that right there, Steve. You said that. What are you doing when the kid breaks the huddle and you're at the bottom of the screen? I know we talked about this down at the Immaculata a couple of weeks ago. What are you doing as the line of scrimmage official to make your job a little bit easier? Because these wideouts are a pain in the neck sometimes, and they're causing us to be distracted in our pre-snap. What are you doing out there to that as the line of scrimmage official at the bottom?
So if I'm the L at the bottom here, I'm giving him my right leg because that's going to be a half a yard, in the backfield. Right. And then I'm going to say, here's your line. And if he's looking with me to communicate, I'm going to work with him. Okay? Right. If he's not looking at me, I'm not going to work with him. So I'll tell him, here's your line. I have you on. I have you off. If he's over, I'll tell him to find me so he lines up on me. But I won't tell him to move up or move back.
You don't want to do that because then we create some sort of foul, either live or dead ball. The next thing is, I agree with you 100%. Extend that right foot and give him like a landmark of what hash mark your foot is on the sideline, and let him use that. I have found in my last 2 years of working on the field here, they're looking. Most teams are that well coached, at least at that phase of the game, that they are looking at us when they break the huddle. And when they do, let's extend our foot, right foot here. It's the back foot, and it's about half, half a ball back. We do the half a ball back, so we allow the kid to, if he gets in his stance and leans over a little bit, he's not encroaching. Now, that's not going to be a problem until we're in the team box. But just to clean it up. Already, I'm talking to you guys, and I'm saying to myself, I would be distracted by all of this. So what we want to do is, with all the stuff we have to do once the ball is snapped, give him that foot and get the formation, at least on your side of the ball here at the bottom, legal. The guy at the top should do the same. And now we could go back to some of the things that are a little more challenging during the live ball. But when we have sloppy lineups, and you have a team that's lining up on the other side of the ball, when they get the ball, they're lining up appropriately. You're going to hear it from that other coach. Why are we held to a different standard than them? Why are you coaching them up all the time? So, if they come out and they're looking at you, acknowledge them. And if they're a little bit shady, get in and talk to them. Okay, so you got to clean your lineup. And I would also recommend that if you're on the side of the offense, or your partners on the side of the offense, get on O to O or get to the head coach and say, you got to have your wideouts work with me a little bit. I'm not saying come out like a gunslinger and be throwing all of these. These are not, these are not really quality fouls, but just to prevent, your distraction from these illegal formations, potential illegal formations. Okay. Thanks, Steve. That was good. Good point on that one. Let's go to the next one. Yep. Okay. Yeah, this is a clear-cut mistake here. Let's freeze it right there. Okay. It's a long distance. Yeah, we got about 8 yards for a first down, but let's just take a look. We're going to get a replay where TV, but let's start in the back there. We have a real deep fullback right there. And then let's come down to, just behind the line of scrimmage at the top of the screen where we got, a setback tight end, whatever the hell he is. Then we have the kid with that's it, number 2. So we're at 3 now. Quarterback would be 4. And there's our 5. There's no way we're getting out of this. Of course, they could shift and make it legal, but they don't. They're going to snap it right from here. And let's just now hold it right there, Steve. So now the line to gain is visible right here with the yellow line up there. Not that we have them in our games, but we can just think about what the result of this play is. Let's go ahead. Okay, so we're going to stop the clock here for a first down and for the foul that they called at the top of the screen. And let's just roll it till we have the announcement, not the announcement, the communication between the line of scrimmage official at the top and the referee. Okay, he's going to tell him I got an illegal formation, 5 in the backfield. Okay, now watch what the referee does. Stop right there. Conversely, on this play here, we know the result of the play is a first down. The defense is going to take this foul. There's no looking around here. Nobody's looking to the sideline of the offended team and say, what do you want to do? We know what they want to do. They don't want to give up a first down and take the result of the play. We're going to hit the offense for 5 from the previous spot, and we're going to roll the clock and go from there. Steve, what's the play clock here? It's 25, right, with an administration of the foul?
Yeah, it's a team A foul, so we go 25 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, good. So those are just things you want to talk about, and don't know if you really want, but if you do, you want to explain to the coach who was in the illegal formation, tell him what we had. We had 5 in the backfield. You don't have to tell him which, we just had 5 in the backfield. He'll figure out who needs to be where on the next thing. But this is just, game flow again. Right now we're throwing it out. We've communicated to the referee, what the foul is. He's going to make the announcement, give the signal, and get a little bit of a good game flow going. It just looks so much better. The kids play crisper. All right. Well, let's roll it a little bit. You can, I don't know if we, go ahead, roll it. TV, this is the one of the national championship games. So they're going to have a lot of cameras. And I think they just show you that, there you go. They're going to circle all of them there. We don't have that technology yet. Okay. Beautiful. Let's go to the next play.
You want me to skip to where you notice?
No, let me see. I forgot this one. Yeah, Montana. Okay, yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Go to the note. Sorry. Yeah, that's what we'll do, Steve. Yep. The live feed wouldn't have been any good anyway. This wide receiver is going to be off the line of scrimmage. So if we just roll it just a little bit more, Steve, so the verbiage goes away. Stop right there. Okay. If they stay just like this, the wide out at the bottom, off. All right. Moving inside, right behind the tight end, off. That's 2. The guy talking to the, the center judge there in an 8-man game, center judge, that would be 3, 4, 5. Steve's got them right there. 4 and 1 is 5. There's no doubt on this one. These are the ones you want to get. We can confirm these, even on huddle video, with one camera at the 50-yard line. This is a confirmed kill here for 5 in the backfield. Okay. They just got to be cleaner. Does anybody know what the advantage would be? There really isn't, but this is the rule, and we're going to enforce it from here. He's not marginal. Go ahead, Steve. You can run it so we can see where he is at the snap. Okay, let's just look at the result of the play here. Okay. So it's second down about 4. Okay. So the result of the play is a first down. We're going to go right to the offended coach on that one and say illegal formation on the offense, send them back 5 because we don't know what the result of the play is. No darn good for the defense. Okay. So just thinking game flow, thinking communication, thinking what you're going to say to the coach. All right. All right. Now here's the other type of illegal formation. Okay. The other ones involve sloppy lineups by the wideout, but this is a pronounced advantage. You know, if you think about it, let's forget about illegal formation at the second. Let's talk about a tackle that sets up early. We nail that. Is that even in the rule book? Because by him getting that early start, he gets a little bit of an angle on the pass rusher. Okay. That's with his movement. If he doesn't move, but he's parked back behind the waistline of the center, okay, in the beginning of the game, if you see this, you want to warn them and you want to warn the coach. You want to make sure that both, you know, get on O to O and talk to your referee when the offense is in the huddle and say, hey, Steve, would you move that tackle up, please? He's a problem. And when we warn, we need to get that information to the head coach, because if we don't, you know, there's a high likelihood every once in a while this happens where we call this and, you know, the result of the play is a touchdown or some significant gain by the offense. And of course, the offense is not going to be happy. The coach is going to be upset with you. And, you know, if you have written down and or you've warned him, well, you know, how much warning can we do? But we at least want to warn them 1 or 2 times. And if he's too far back, and too far back is he's behind the waist of the snapper, we got to get him because it's a big advantage. We're holding the defense. They've got to stay on their side of the ball and stay away from encroachment. So the offense has got to do basically the same thing on their side of the ball and get up on the line of scrimmage. Okay. Because otherwise, any type of contact by this right tackle is going to make that defender from Florida State, for Florida State, it's going to make them, the team in goal, the defensive team, it's going to make them take a, you know, kind of a circuitous route around that tackle. And it's going to cause him extra steps that he's not going to be able to put the pressure on that he's in there for to do. All right, let's run it. I think they get him here. I have CC written here. That means it's a correct call. Yeah, he's too far back. See that? He can just sit back because he gets that angle on the guy with the depth that he has. So again, warn. Let's go back, Steve, just so we know. We're going to warn that. Make sure you get it to the coach. And, you know, after a warning or two, you get that warning to the referee who'll talk to the kid in the huddle on the next play. And then meanwhile, we'll get to the coaches. If we're on that sideline of the offense, we'll find the head coach. And if we're not, we're going to get it to the line of scrimmage official at the top and say, hey, help me out here. Let's tell the coach I've already warned the right tackle, 74, whatever, that he's got to get up. He's too deep, creating an advantage. That's enough. Just I warned the right tackle. Let's see what happens as a result of the play. So it's 1st and 10. I think it's an incomplete pass, right?
Yeah, it's an incomplete pass.
Take a little bit of time. Okay.
Here, about 2 minutes in the second quarter. Is that too late in the game to start warning people?
Well, if it's the first time it appears, but you know, if it's the first time it appears, we still would warn them. Yeah, I think we still would warn them here. Yeah, you don't want to surprise them on it. But after those 2 warnings, and you really should write them down, because coaches aren't, you know, they're going to nod at you. But if you write them down and then you bring back a touchdown or a significant gain by the offense, you could always say, well, listen, at 3:14 and at 2:11, you know, we warned you. This is enough, you know. So, yeah, go ahead. We can run it, just see what happens on the play. I think this is an incomplete pass. Yeah, incomplete pass, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So here we would have options. You know, we could go 1 and 10, or I'm sorry, 2 and 10, taking the result of the play, or Let's see what he does. Okay, they took it. Okay, so we're going to repeat the down on that one. They took it probably because we're inside. We're about the 30-yard line. 2 minutes to go. Possible field goal. So take the 5 yards and move them back. All right. And then the clock status would be, of course, snap due to the incomplete pass. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, this is a punt play. All right, hold it. This is really sloppy. Now, punt plays, I'm not too technical on. Definitely warn, treat it like a scrimmage play, but you don't have true tackles. This is a special teams play where you probably have players out of position. We'll give them a little bit more leeway, but I can't tell you that now. I won't tell you that now. This is clearly, you got 3 at the personal protectors right there, right in the middle of the logo. You got the punters 4, and down at the bottom down here we have that stack formation, right? So the guy in the back is clearly, that's your 5 right there. And you can make an argument that the kid that's standing where it says Chris, the I between the I and the S in Chris, that guy with the towel there is marginal. Now he's marginal. If he was the only one on a punt play, I would warn him. Everybody getting that philosophy here on a punt play? I mean, you can make the argument that it's going to make the kid in white take a circuitous route, but we're not really that technical on illegal formations and depth on punt plays. But we would definitely talk to him. Here we can't get out of it because he's got 5 other teammates that are making this play illegal. Everybody okay with that? With the formation on the punt play, he's a little bit marginal. Let's make sure we talk to him before we get into it. Okay? Let's run it. Just run. Hey, Steve, maybe you could bail me out with rule. I'm pretty sure on this one, so I'll fly it by the seat of my pants. Watch what happens here. Okay, we're going to get the ball down that let's say the 7-yard line there. Could we possibly, maybe they won't do that. They would probably make the offense kick again on the flag. Could we tack that on if we have that foul up front, the illegal formation? Could we tack that on at the end of the play?
I have to double check the rule.
Okay.
But it's a team A foul during a kicking play.
Prior to the kick. It's a foul at the snap. Yeah.
Right. So
not going down the PSK turnpike because the foul's on A,
right.
But notice they asked for when the fouls reported to the referee, they were going to the sideline, and I guess the sideline was pretty quick in giving them what they want to do here. Okay. Well, that's something we need to look at then. Is anybody in the chat box that could help us with that? Somebody did say something.
Peter Smith says, yes, you can.
Yeah. Okay. This one goes out at the 7-yard line. So my thinking would give them the option. Most likely they're going to make them kick it again. Okay. Thanks a lot, whoever helped us out with that one. That's the same rule in all 3 codes. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it says during a legal free or scrimmage kick down. So we're good here.
So we have to be ready. We have to be ready. If you're on the sideline of the offended team, like, what do you want to do with this, coach? And the other thing is, I don't want to just talk to one coach yet. You want to tell the other guy who just punted, you might be punting again, or you might be on defense. Okay. Highly unlikely that they would do this, from the 7-yard line where the kick rolled dead to the 12 and go from there. They'd probably make them kick it again and maybe grab a touchback out of it on the next play, on the replay. Okay.
Hey, we have about 20 minutes left, just so you know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Stop right there. This is just sloppy. Here you are at the friggin' 2-yard line, and you're not going to have a good formation here. So we'll start at the bottom, Steve. Yep. There you go. There's our 1. This kid's going to go in motion is 2. The setback and the quarterback would be 3, 4. And of course, right there. And can they call a timeout, or excuse me, can they request a timeout and get out of this? Answer is yes, because this is a foul that occurs at the snap. So up until the snap, they can either shift and cover somebody up there, or get one of those 5 out of the backfield and onto the line of scrimmage, or they can recognize this. I've seen that. I've had coaches, see this and go, we can't. I have no way of making this kid move up on the line of scrimmage, so we're just going to take a timeout here. If you have them, you take them, and that's for the coach to get pissed off there. But certainly, clearly 5 in the backfield. Let's look at the result of the play. Go ahead, Steve. Just run it. Okay, and that flag, it looks like it came from the umpire, but really that flag came from the line of scrimmage. So, they stopped them, and, you have the options there of taking the result of the play, illegal formation, and, we're looking around again. Somebody else needs to get that. And this is even worse with him walking around. I know, yeah, this should have been done much earlier than that. Yeah. Okay. Good. And it's the side judge, actually, that's over there talking to him. You want to go? Yeah, we got 15 minutes. Steve, let's flip to the next one where it's shared responsibilities between the line of scrimmage and the. Yep, this is a great play. This is thoroughly impressive. I've shown this at a few clinics, and just let's watch it first. Okay. Legal formation. We're just going to look at the coordination between the line of scrimmage official and the deep wing here. Okay, so here's what we got. We got a toe tap. So the side judge, first of all, if we go back, Steve, we might run this one. This is a good one to talk about. Let's look at the positioning of the side judge here, or a deep wing. Let's freeze it when we see him. Okay, absolutely outstanding positioning at the pylon. He's deep. My only recommendation, and this guy refereed this play, he refereed this play 10 out of 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. But I would just get all those people out of there. You need a full cushion here. He could get even a little bit better cushion, but he's clearly off the pylon because we know the ball, in this case, the defender and the receiver are all attacking that pylon/goal line right there. Okay. And he's got to, you go down on this, how to officiate this in live ball, you go feet, ball. Okay. Because if his feet are out of bounds, we don't care what happens, whether he holds on to the ball or not. But we go downstairs first and we look at feet. Now, people are going to say to me, well, Ed, it's feet. Well, you don't know which one of those 2 feet are going to come down. So you got to go downstairs and look at both. And, you could get the receiver put 1 foot out first and then the other one. Or, we could have simultaneous, which would be incomplete. Or we have what we have here. We have really, I think it's both feet down. This would be a good call on Sunday. Real good. Now, what happened is you can see, why is his hat off? The field judge or side judge there, why is his hat off? His hat's off because he got knocked out of bounds. And when anybody, but in this case, the deep wing sees the receiver get knocked out of bounds, you've got to officiate one, was he knocked out or did he step out on his own? And when you put your hat down, you have to say, oh, he was knocked out on his own by the defender, or he stepped out on his own, which could cause some problems if he's then the first to touch. So go ahead, you can run it now, Steve.
Just slight rule clarification. If he has to reestablish inbounds.
Oh yeah, he's got to reestablish. Did I say that? I said he's got to reestablish. Well, let's take a look and see what he does.
Right, and by this code, he does not lose eligibility. So.
Okay. Good, nice and smooth. He steps up. Okay. Nobody's even asking anything about that hat down. Now, the line judge is going to come down and tell him that the receiver stepped out of bounds. But this is the wideout. And the wideout would be the original initial responsibility of the deep wing here. So he would know the status of that receiver from beginning to end. Watch what happens here. We get that bump out of bounds. Now we're going to require him to step back in, which he does right there. He steps back in bounds and reestablishes that he's back in bounds. Okay, when he stepped out, if he's airborne, we have a problem if he's airborne. Correct, Steve?
Correct. So it's, if you step out, you have to reestablish.
Yeah, to catch the ball, right?
Yep.
So if we run that again, let's run that again from the program feed, the first one. Oh, that's better, right there. Yeah, either one, I don't care. Yeah, run it from there. So here's what happens, right? He does this little double fake here. The kid's faked from Cal, push, out of bounds. Now he's got to come back in. Okay, he does reestablish. This is all on the line of scrimmage official with that great cushion there, and he rings it up for a touchdown. Just That's a pretty good play right there. I have that bookmarked. It's pretty darn good play from the 2024 season. That's well officiated. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay. That's just a replay of the previous play. Stop right there. Okay, we're going to look at the third receiver. So here's where we're outnumbered, folks. At the bottom, we are outnumbered. We're going to have a wide out who's off the line of scrimmage. We're going to have a number 2 receiver there on the 35-yard line. He is on the line and he is off. And now let's just talk about formations and coverage here. Okay, so let's just dismiss everybody. The wide out at the bottom would be the responsibility of the deep wing. Okay, the third man in would be the initial responsibility of the line of scrimmage. And we're going to share, and you're here for educational purposes. Here comes your education. We're lucky here and that the team in white is backed off the ball, so we can let those 3 receivers, even though we're outnumbered, we're going to let them declare, share, and declare. Okay. And if we get lucky, well, if we're in a press situation, we got a problem because there's 3 receivers that need our attention, and we only have 2 officials here. But here we're going to have 2, and the defense is going to do us a big favor. Let's look at that third receiver right there. Okay. And there's something called a 2-step process. He gets taken down right there. If you run it back, Steve. Everybody should have seen the third receiver there get taken down. But what we want to do is we want to take a look and see where the quarterback is right now. And the quarterback has his hand, and he's in the pocket. Okay, I'm just giving you his location. I'm not talking about rules here. He's in the pocket, and he's looking downfield, and that might be one of his options. And that option is now taken away by this foul. Okay, well, let's run it. We're going to have, we throw for defensive holding, and the result of the play is just an incomplete pass. So incomplete pass, defensive holding. It's going to be a 10-yard foul. Let's go back. Let's go back and see what the down and distance is. All right, it's 3rd and 10. So the 10 yards is going to get us a first down. It's a previous spot foul, incomplete pass. We're going to go 10 yards, give them the first down by yardage. It's not an automatic first down. They got to get the yardage. They get the yardage on the walk-off at the penalty, and the clock would be snap. Okay, and since we're administering that defensive holding foul, the play clock would be 25. All right.
High school rules, we go 40-second play clock.
There you go, Ed Camp. Stay out of those high school rules. Yes, 40-second rules. The 40-second. Okay.
I don't like it, but it's the rule.
When we have visible play clocks, you know, I'm not sure everybody knows that rule that well. Okay. So we all have the receiver step out at the bottom here, and he has his hat down for the receiver stepping out, just so he knows how he got out there. You were going to say something, Steve.
I was going to say exactly that. We think back to the last play. You know, we get this guy stepping out, line judge, eyes all over it, feet to ball, like Ed just said, sees his feet out of bounds, takes his hat off his head.
Yep, and he is not reestablished, so as soon as he touches it, he's created a dead ball and complete pass.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. We've got a foul on the bottom here. All right. Yeah, there we go. You can run it right from there. We're going to have a hold or some kind of contact with the ball in the air, and we got a foul thrown by the deep wing because that was his initial responsibility. And also, since the ball's in the air, what has the line of scrimmage guy done? He's actually gone to the contact, and he's going to throw as well. The only thing is here, when you get this contact on both, bang, right there, that hook, the short wing throws on it. There you go, 2 flags. The most important thing we can come away with this, it's obviously a foul. But here, when you have 2 flags, we need to get together and not assume. Hold on one second. Keith is going to ask me a question, but let me just finish my thought, Keith, and I'll answer your question. So when the ball goes up, the line of scrimmage official looks away from his initial responsibility, and he is going to help the deep wing. We know sometimes there are things on the backside, on the short side of the ball, that the deep wing can't see, and we need an aggressive line of scrimmage guy to be 100%. You know, if you see something as egregious as this, where the defender grabs the receiver around the waist and turns him, okay, he does that while the ball's in the air. So what started out as defensive holding now upgrades to defensive pass interference. Okay, so you need to be able to piece those two together. And with two flags on the field, if Steve, if this is you and I on the line of scrimmage, we need to know the timing of when the ball, or where the ball was when the restriction occurred, and the deep wing is just going to call it just based on, you know, the egregiousness of that foul. Okay. Now Keith was asking a question. Can you go to the chat room? Let me read Keith's statement.
Yeah. While you're pulling that up, one thing I was told recently, because I got one of these wrong based on the timing, whether it's DH or PI. If there's any doubt, rule the ball was in the air, because most of the time that's going to be the case.
Yeah, that's good. I don't know if I was with you, but somebody brought that up recently. But here's the thing. We on the line of scrimmage, those of us on this call right now, have to have an opinion on this. And Steve's giving you the best advice I could share with you. If there's any type of delay, you know, if this is a pronounced route by the receiver, upgrade this from DH to DPI. Okay. And Keith asked the question about the guy stepping out of bounds. Would you address that, please? Back to the other play with Cal and Auburn. So when the defender knocks the receiver out of bounds, for him to catch the ball, he's got to come back in bounds, obviously. What else, Steve? There's no foul on that play, right?
No, so on a force out, there's no foul. But if he goes out on his own and then comes in, we have a foul for illegal participation.
Okay,
So
good.
with the change a couple of years ago that basically states you have to reestablish in bounds, taking your hat off is important. This way, if you don't process everything, but you have your hat off, somebody could come in and help you, right? Hey, you had your hat off. How'd that player get out of bounds? Did he get back in bounds, and help you, piece together the play in case you go too fast. That's the primary reason why we're going to take a hat off, right? Just to let everybody know you had him out of bounds, and then if we need to have a conversation, we can piece it together.
Okay, so the two parts to that question is this. In the perfect world with everybody on here, it's May and you guys are trying to get better. You can do this. So when you put that hat down, and occasionally it happens to us on the line of scrimmage. Occasionally one of our receivers steps out, or the guy, the wide out to our side steps out, and he's right in front of us. Well, we can't ignore that. But what Steve is saying is that we need to see that and then process how he got out of bounds. Okay, because if he goes out on his own, we got the legal participation hanging. But if he's bumped out of bounds, all we need then is for him to reestablish back in there. And of course, yeah, when the hat's down, that's an indication that something like that happened. And if Steve's reporting the foul after putting his hat down, somebody in that huddle should say, "Why was your hat down in the first place?" Okay.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead.
Not to pat myself in the back too much, but there was a play last year where across the field somebody took their hat off, and I just came in and asked a question just to make sure we processed everything. And that's how we could help out from across the field, right? We don't have anything going on. Maybe our mind isn't racing. Just come and ask a question.
That's great advice. You don't be a spectator. Why is that guy's hat down, and what are they discussing? You could stay out of that huddle until we get to. okay, what are you doing with this? Blah, 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 blah. Who, what, when, and where to the referee. And now you might go, before you go anywhere, why is your hat off? What, what was your ruling on that created that? And by the way, if you get the correct answer, you can go to your sideline and tell the coach, here's what my partner had on the sideline, and it would help him either understand the play better or figure out his options, which you should probably walk him through on that. Okay, good point, Steve. That hat down is an indicator. All right, we got about 2 more minutes. Go ahead.
Yep, this will be our last play.
Okay. Oh, did that skip on us? Okay. So just on this one, this is just coverage. These guys are fighting over the spot here. Now the side judge should be locked on the goal line. Okay. We got a foul on the play. Oh, roughing the passer. Okay. So we've got a catch here. You just got to make sure when you report to the referee, you need to tell the referee that we had roughing the passer. Okay. What's the result of the play here? We got a catch and a wind. I would prefer on that play that the side judge stay on the goal line and let us come down. And then, of course, we would report that the ball was caught on the whatever it was. I think they put it at the 6 and they went to the 3 with the tack on for roughing the passer. Okay, that's what we got tonight. Steve, thanks a lot for running it. Guys, thanks for your attention. And anybody that weighed in on the chat room, Keith and Pete Schmidt helped us out there with good help. And I'm going to go have dinner and read the 40-second play clock situation.
We have about 3 minutes. If anybody has any questions, I'll let this play run in the meantime. But we got 2.5 minutes to kill about now.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Run it back again. This is Duke and SMU. I got to see what I put on this one. Okay, yeah. Hey, here's where we got to help as a short wing with the deep wing bailing on this and getting to the goal line. While this is not really in our primary area, go ahead, run it, Steve. Okay. We would have something to say. Stop it right there. We would come up from behind the play because the deep wing here would have a cushion and probably be looking through the back of the receiver here. So even though it's, a lot closer to the deep wing and significantly further away from the short wing here, we need to weigh in on this in case the ball gets trapped, because there's a high likelihood that the side judge or the field judge would, not see what could potentially be a trap here. All right. That's why just flip it again. Go one more if we have time. You keep an eye on the clock, Steve.
Yeah, we got 1.5 minutes.
All right. Let's see what Stanford gives us here. Let's run it again. Run it right from here. This is good. This is a good sideline. Okay. Good. All right, it's right at the goal line, but the deep wing has got a good cushion on the goal line. The short wing is going to come up, and he's going to see something prior to the receiver getting to the 2-yard line. And what happens is he steps out right there. Of course, we have the extension of the ball, so it's the location of the ball when he steps out. We probably put this at about the 1.5-yard line here, but this is a shared responsibility. So the line of scrimmage official at the top of the screen, he's going to, look at the sideline, because the end zone and the near sideline here by the pylon is going to be the responsibility of the deep wing. Again, I can't stress enough. You don't even see him in the picture here. That's a good job by the side judge, getting while the ball's alive. He's getting his cushion. He's not moving back while he has to officiate a play like this. Okay, so if you do get yourself back, don't forget, get yourself back and be there, sitting there. Okay, don't be moving and try to officiate a play like this where you have potential for the runner to step out and them extending the ball at the same time. That's what we got. Okay, we'll try this again. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody else's attention, and we'll see you down the road.
All right, thanks, Ed, and we'll be going back to the main room in about 10 seconds.
Okay, good.